Welcome to the Common Sense Podcast, where money makes sense.
Welcome, everybody. This is Patrick Francis. I am the host of the Common Sense Podcast, and I'm here today to talk about student loans. So, student loans is something that is near and dear to me since I've been working in the financial aid field for over 15 years and experiencing student loan default debts. Taking out loans is something that when you're young and going to college is a lot of things that you don't know about. So what we're going to do today is we have a special guest, and I'm going to bring her in right now. Hello, Chantel Williams. How are you doing?
Hello. How y'all doing tonight?
All right. So we have you here today, and we're going to kind of dig into student loans and default. But first, before we do that, can you go ahead and just introduce yourself and tell the audience your background and your experience?
Yes, my name is Chantel Williams. I am, at the current time, I am a financial aid advisor at MIAT. It's where the guys go to school to work on aircrafts. We do have other classes like HVAC, welding, and different stuff like that. I've been in the financial aid industry for about 15 years now.
Okay, cool. So you have a lot of experience and dealt with a lot of students and come with a wealth of knowledge about just financial aid in general, but more specifically with loans and default. So for students that experience this, either you're a current student or you are a former student, because obviously you've borrowed money. Hopefully you've gotten something out of it, like an education, or at least started the program. But how many students do you feel like, on average, that you take out loans to go to school? And do you feel like they end up giving up? Because I've seen a lot of students end up taking out loans and getting default, and then they end up giving up. Do you experience that a lot?
I do experience it a lot, but I try to help people as much as I can. It really does hurt to see somebody. They come in, they think they're finna enroll in class, and they are actually in default. It's like their dream is just shattered.
Mhm.
So, I talk to them to try to find out a little background information because you can only consolidate one time. So I try to help the student as much as I can to lift the default in order for them to come to school where they can reach their goals and their dreams that they want to achieve.
Right. And you hit on a key word, consolidate. So let's get into these words that students may not know about or not understand. But first, let's talk about what exactly is student loan default.
Loan default means that you haven't made any payments on your loans in over 265 days, or you have not had any contact with your lender. The lender tries to reach out to you, and if you haven't responded in 265 days, they will flag your social as loan default,
hmm And this,
meaning that they want the entire balance that you owe plus the interest that you owe.
so that means that, for instance, if they borrowed $6,000 maybe 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, so now it's in default. Now, is it still that $6,000, or what is it now?
It,
What would
it,
that
it
look
can
like?
be like a $20,000 loan by now,
Wow, that's because of all the interest,
but because of the interest.
late fees, and all of that. And a lot of people don't know that different companies may buy your loan out, and now you got extra fee because this other company is taking over the account. And so, what does it look like? How would, like, for instance, if I went to school, and what is so, it's like, it makes me wonder. Some students actually didn't even know they borrowed money. They think that it was a grant or something. So, how would they end up finding out that they are in default? What are some of the signs that you'll see?
The biggest thing that I've learned, some people claim that they don't know they're in default until the IRS has garnished their tax return.
hmm
And then that's when they start scrambling and looking for help, but it's too late because they already got that money, and that money is going to go towards what you owe. There's no way in getting that money back.
Right. So now if they're in default, all of a sudden they go to get a card at Walmart so they can do some Christmas shopping. You get denied and you're like, what happened? It could be that you are now in default.
And
And
on default.
the
A lot
gov-
of people think when you do have student loans, it's very important that you keep your contact information updated with your loan company. A lot of people think because, oh, hey, they not calling me, I haven't got anything in the mail. You know, they think the loan just disappeared, but that's not how that works. You know, you if they can't call you if they don't know your new number. You know,
Mhm.
you change cell phone numbers all the time. They can't contact you if you don't live at mom house anymore. Maybe mom's not giving you the mail or the mail is not being forwarded. But you have to take accountability. You know you have that student loan out there and you need to pay your obligations.
Right. You can't run from it because some people think, well, maybe it'll go away after 7 years or something like that. That doesn't happen, does it?
No, because the company resells it. They'll keep it for 7 years. Another company will buy it, and that's how they make their money. That's how collection agencies make their money.
And they got your social security, you got your date of birth. So anytime you're using that or your driver's license,
It's
that's
gonna pop up.
gonna flag and pop up. So it can really affect your credit in a negative way. So as we talked about, it's like you can't do a lot of stuff. You're gonna be restricted to basically using cash. And if you don't have the cash on you, you're stuck.
Right. Student loans can affect your credit. If you was to pay your student loan off, it will affect your credit in a great way. It'll be very positive. I've seen people who pay their student loans off, and they go buy a car. They can actually, just sign their name because it's something about student loans or government loans. If you repay their money, that's good standing on your credit.
Right.
So if you do not pay, loan default is a bad thing. It's like bankruptcy. It can stop you from buying a house, a whole lot of things. You might have a child that's getting ready to go to college and you can't help that child because your credit is so screwed up.
So it's best to be proactive and not just hope that it goes away because it's not going to go away.
No, it's not going to go away at all. The best thing that I can tell someone, if you have a student loan, try to make your payments and pay it off as soon as possible. Soon as possible to stop the interest. So much interest won't build up. And there are different repayment options that's out there. Say, for instance, you get laid off on your job. They have a repayment plan called the income-based repayment plan. It's based upon your income. If I'm not working, my unemployment haven't kicked in, my loan company is calling, hey, Chantel, you need to make a payment. Well, I can't make a payment right now. I'm on unemployment benefits. Oh, wow. I'm sorry to hear that. But we'll put your loan on hold for about 6 months. If you just send us a copy of your information, stating that you are receiving unemployment. They're putting my loan on hold for 6 months. I might not need 6 months on hold. I might only need 3 months. The longer they put it on hold, there's more interest. That loan is just growing. So you want to start making payments again as soon as possible. And say, for instance, your payment is only $120. Just don't pay $120 because a regular payment is based upon a 10-year lifespan. And that 10 years, it's a lot of interest, within those 10 years. So you don't want to drag that loan out 10 years. Your goal should be pay that loan off as quickly as possible.
Right. And then do students have an opportunity to actually, hey, I can't pay $120, but I don't want the interest to build up. Like, what is an option on that end as far as can they just pay interest only?
Yes, they can make interest only payments. It's totally up to them. They can make interest only payments. They will call the loan company and say, hey, my loan is on hold. I can't afford to make a payment right now, but I would like to pay the monthly interest that's accruing on it.
Okay. And so since there's a lot more to it, let's do a quick exercise. I'm a student walking in or anybody that's in default with the student loan. and I'm coming to you as an expert and telling you, hey, I'm in default, but I want to go to school and it's affecting my credit. What is the first step? What is the first thing I need to do?
The first thing you would need to do is once you come see me, I'll look up in NSLDS. It's a system that all schools use just to see what your loans look like. How old are your loans? How much do you actually owe? Even though NSLDS, it doesn't show the interest. It only shows the original loan amount. Once I do that, and then I have you to fill out the application for the loan consolidation. Is it guaranteed? No, it's not guaranteed. It's a possibility you might not get it, but 9 times out of 10 you will, as long as you haven't consolidated before. So you just actually filling out the application and asking the government. You're basically asking the government, can you buy these loans back and give me another chance at making my monthly payments? That's basically what you're doing. The process takes about 6 weeks. It's worth waiting because, I mean, right now your credit is shot because it's in default. You can't do nothing. It's like your hands are tied. So once they take you out of default and you start making your payments again, it'll shoot your credit score back up and you can do what you need to do.
Okay.
They also, some companies have you to do what we call a 6-month loan rehabilitation, meaning they want you to pay 6 consecutive payments. You have to pay those 6 consecutive payments. You cannot pay all the payments at one time. They make you pay month by month. So that process takes 6 months. But you're proving to them, hey, I can make my payments. So they want you to make 6 consecutive payments before they remove the default to make sure that you're able to do that. Some companies offer that, not all companies.
Okay, so that way they know for sure that you have the ability to continue making payments. They
Right.
see a history of it.
Right.
Okay, well, as y'all can see, it's a lot more to, just, hey, I'm in default. Let me get out and make a payment real quick. Let me go back to school. Let me build my credit up. So that's why it's good to know people like Chantel Williams, and hopefully we can, get you back on again to get into a little bit more deeper. Maybe have a student come in and speak to you. But as far as just contacting you, well, first let me let's talk about how can we contact you, and then I want to get your final words.
Okay. So you can contact me on my business line, 281-636-9397. Or you can email me, Shanwill, that's CHANWILL 77078 @gmail.com.
Okay. And any final words you want to leave with somebody that's watching or will watch the show and say, hey, I'm in this same situation. What do I need to do? And, what's the next step?
Just give me a call or email me and I'll be glad to advise you, because it's different steps. It depends on where you are in your situation. Word of advice, if you have student loans out there and you don't know if you're in default or not, you can give me a call. I can tell you how to look up the information. Tax time is coming. And if you don't want your money, all your tax refund going towards your student loan, you need to give me a call, but we can try to get it right before it's actually time for you to file your tax return.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate all the information on the student loan situations. I know several students are in this situation. And the thing is that everybody's situation is different. Just because you may have a friend that's in default doesn't mean that you have to follow the same path of getting out of default and building your credit.
Right. And that's what I tell a lot of people. I'm going to say this before we go. We have a lot of young people, they come to school. As soon as I say, well, the government is going to offer you these student loans, I don't want loans. My mom or my uncle or, my cousin, they had loans and they took all their money. Well, that might not be the case with you. You might be more obedient than your cousin or your mom or your uncle. You might pay your bills. For some reason, they didn't make their payments or try to contact their loan company within those 265 days. Just because you take out loans, that does not mean that you have to go into loan default. It's too many programs that the loan companies have to stop you from going into loan default. It's either make your payment or call the loan company and communicate with them. Communication is the key.
Exactly. And like I said, since we're pushed on time, might have to do a part 2, part 3, and a part 4, because there's like default.
Yeah, because it is, I mean, it's different sections, first of all, explain loan default. What are the options of getting out? How does it affect my credit? It can affect your home buying, different stuff like that. You can talk about the interest on the student loan. How is the interest accumulated, and all the different repayment options that these different loan companies have that's available to you.
Okay. So so we're going to get back into that, because even afterwards, some students can get their loans forgiven.
Right.
A lot of people hear about that. I mean, it's a lot of different options.
It's a lot of different options, but you don't know if you don't do your research and try to follow up and find out. It's like you say, a lot of students go to school. They go through the whole program, and at the end of the program, I didn't even know I had student loans. Well, earth to you, where were you when your financial aid advisor or officer was sitting there explaining that to you? You just signing your name away. No, you need to know what you're signing, what you're getting into. If it takes that person to explain to you 5 times, or for them to go get somebody else to explain to you, you need to know what you're getting into.
Got it. So we're gonna post your information on how to contact you. If you don't contact to Chantel, make sure you reach out to me on Common Sense. I'll make sure you get the help that you need as well. So I appreciate you coming on tonight on short notice, and we will get you back on the show soon. You gonna come back on us for us?
Sure, I will be glad to come back. Like awesome. I said, I love helping people, and if I can help someone achieve their dream and their goals, that's what I'm all about.
Awesome. All right, well, you have a great evening, and everybody say goodbye to Chantel. We will see her again. Thank you. All right, so that's the end of the show. So please make sure you check us out on Common Sense on Facebook, Twitch, Instagram. We're going live tonight, but we will also be sharing this. If you see this video and know somebody that can benefit from it, please forward it to them as well, or tag them on the comments. And we shall see you later. And Patrick is signing out.